Sprite Cranberry?
Fucking really look.
Well, guys, it is that time of the year when we get together to do our top 10 least and our favorite films of the year. Now, you guys may notice a little something different here, of course. If you guys have been following the channel since 2012, you will all know that the five of us, unfortunately, Shane could not be here today. So I just want to say, Shane, love you, brother. We wish you'd be here. You make the videos so much more fun than they all were. But you know what? We're gonna have a fun time nonetheless. Like 2012, all of us got together to share our least and our best films of the year. So we thought, you know what? Let's do like we did back in 2012 because, I mean, ever since 2012, we did our own solo videos. And while they were fun to do, it was a pain in the ass to edit. So I was like, you know what? Let's do a roundtable like we did previously and just have a good time. So that is exactly what we're here to do. So here with A-Pizzle90, Alex, LC Muscles, Lucas. Don't you dare do Sprite Cranberry again, thank you. And we're also here with Mr. Joe Dini as well. Unlike 2012 where we did best, then worst, we're doing worse than best because as everyone knows, we like to hear the sour news first. Then we like to hear the news that makes us go like, yay! Ooh!
That was Alex's order.
That was awesome. All right, so Lucas, since that Joe's and I have his honorable mentions, would you like to go first with your honorable mentions?
I'll go ahead and go first. With me, I tried to avoid as many bad films as I could this year. I didn't see a lot of bad films.
Okay.
I'll go through 5 of them because I only have 5 films on this list.
Sure.
Starting with the worst film of the summer, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Solo, A Star Wars Story, and finally, Annihilation.
You son of a bitch!
Peter Rabbit and the 2018 Death Wish movie.
Lucas, I'm with you on Solo. I thought it was just okay, to be honest. Then we got Night School, the Tiffany Haddish and Kevin Hart movie. Then we got Unsane. I know that film has been praised, but I think it's overrated. Tomb Raider, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Insidious: The Last Key, Wrinkled in Time, Super Troopers 2, Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, the worst Harry Potter film ever. That film was so boring. Then we got Venom, and then finally we got Slender Man. Alex, would you kindly present your honorable mentions?
Where the fuck did this list go?
It went into Abadu land.
Oh,
Went to Abadu Land?
Oh, shit.
Okay, Alex,
Yes.
now on to your honorable mentions.
Okay, I have 10, just like you, because that was the cutoff.
Yep,
So,
10.
starting with Sicario, Day of the Soldado, Pacific Rim Uprising,
I actually agree with you on that.
Peter Rabbit,
Never saw it.
Slender Man, A Wrinkle in Time,
I didn't see it.
The Hurricane Heist,
Oh, I never saw that.
Robin Hood, Venom, Aquaman,
Oh, yeah.
Really? Come on.
and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Okay. All right, guys. That's all mentions are aside. Let's jump into our top 10 shit scenes of the year. And the famous words of Mills Lane. Let's get on!
Bring it.
Number 10.
All right, so my number 10, for comedic purposes only,
Oh, God.
Gotti.
Oh,
I did not see it.
I didn't. I was going to watch it.
You're going into New York territory here.
Dude, I'm telling you,
New York,
John Travolta.
the greatest fucking city in the
Doesn't
world.
even look like the guy. first
No,
of all.
and this horrible Italian accent. So in a lot of people's list is going to be a lot higher, but
Yeah.
just, oh my God, how could they get this wrong with such great source material?
Was Watch
Yeah.
Mojo's #1 worst movie of the
Who
year.
gives a crap about Watch Mode? It was bad. That's all I gotta say. Forget about it. That's my number 10.
For a lot of people, this is their number 1, but for me, it's not even close. I do have a number 1 worst horror film, but my number 10 goes to Truth or Dare.
I didn't see it.
It's so bad. Characters, all the are assholes to say the least. You can't care about a single one of them, and every time they die, it's in the dumbest, most hysterical Final Destination that you could possibly imagine. Like, there's this one character who goes to the dean's office. He takes a pen, stabs himself in the head a bunch of times to kill himself. I'm not even kidding with you on that one. Oh, it's stupid. It's dumb. And the ending, I get what they were going for, but it only makes the main girl look like an even bigger bitch than everyone else. And every scare, of course, is a jump scare. Plus, they didn't know what to do. They didn't want it to be a straight-up horror film or a comedy horror or a campy horror, but there's a tonal shift everywhere. But yeah, Truth or Dare. Truth, you're my number 10 worst horror film of the year. My number 10 worst film of the year as well. So yeah, that's your truth right there.
My number 10 is a film that critics surprisingly loved, getting over an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. But for me, since it's based on a TV show that I absolutely hate, I don't understand why in the hell this got such a high rating. Number 10 is Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Oh, damn.
Oh my God. This is an insult to my intelligence with this movie.
Really?
I don't understand how this movie could do so well to critics. When literally in the first 5 minutes of the movie, they're fighting this bubble monster, and there's a loud, they pop it, it's a loud fart sound for a minute. I'm just sitting like, go on? Like, is this your fucking joke? And apparently it is. I will give the movie credit for two things. It actually is a pretty decent anime. It's actually pretty decently animated. And the Stan Lee cameo was actually pretty funny. I will actually, not gonna lie, it was actually pretty funny. Rest in peace, Stanley. Otherwise, this whole movie's a joke. It literally is such a convoluted plot. It makes everyone look like an idiot and makes one look like an asshole as well, especially in the main plot. It makes Starfire, Cyborg, Beast Boy, and Raven all look like assholes when Ramen's actually trying to do something. And yeah, the villain's terrible. The twist I saw coming a mile away. This movie just sucked. I'm sorry. That's why Teen Titans Go is my number 10.
I was going to say something, but I know you're saving it for your number 1 worst.
Well, mine is based off of a video game. You want to guess which one?
Tomb Raider?
Slenderman.
No,
Neither one?
neither one.
Damn, I wouldn't know where to go for.
Second clue, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Rampage?
Rampage.
I thought
Yeah.
that was one movie.
Well, I mean, I didn't. I grew up on the Rampage arcade game. Listen. I mean, my first thing is like, well, they obviously got George's color wrong because George doesn't look like how he does in the game. But I mean, that's just a Deanie nitpick on my part. But that's not the main point that I'm making. My point is that it just wasn't as an exciting of an action movie as I thought it was going to be. No, it just felt too formulaic. It felt too technical. There was no emotion put into it. It was just a simple business move. But a lot of times when you just do pure business, you don't get a very good movie. So, Rampage, sorry.
Number 9.
All right, number 9 for me is what I believe the worst animated film of the year.
Oh.
And that would be Sherlock Gnomes.
Oh, I never
You'll
saw
be hearing
that.
that from me in a little bit.
Man, this is a sequel to, I think,
The
Romeo and
sequel?
Juliet.
Yes, it is.
Romeo and Juliet.
Wow, okay.
Which is kind of like, why did we deserve this? Why did we expect this? Why? The animation did not get better since the first one.
Oh, jeez.
Same with the storyline.
Mhm.
I mean, they're basically portraying Sherlock Holmes instead.
Oh.
And speaking of Sherlock Holmes, we get to
Cash Cow goes.
Cash Cow Goes Moo.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was just bad. That's my number 9. Sherlock Gnomes.
All right, so my number 9, this movie was just depressing because I used to love this guy back in the day, but man, Action Point was so just depressing. It really was. I wanted to love this movie because I love Jackass, I love Johnny Knoxville, and given everything behind the true story of the actual park, Action Park, that's what it was called, right?
Yep. It was from
Where,
New Jersey.
yeah, where,
New Jersey,
that's
where
right,
he's
yeah.
from.
Given the Jackass style of stunts, this should be a home run. It really should be.
Right.
But what we get here instead is a fight the power type of movie with Johnny Knoxville essentially just falling down, hurting himself every like freaking 10 minutes. That's all this movie really is. I used to love Jackass. Like, and actually, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try and watch Jackass again, and I still laugh my ass off. But that's because with Action Point, you really don't care about anyone. So when someone falls down, you're just like, are they okay? Like, oh my god, like what a fucking idiot. Plus, it is boring. This movie is so boring. Like, it was like an hour and a half. I felt like it was 2 hours long, at least.
It felt longer than that.
Oh, it did? Action Point, man, as a Jackass fan, disappointing as all hell. That's why it's my number 9.
If I saw this movie during the summer, I would have put it on my worst of the summer list. But this movie came out, and I did see it a little late. But why did I even bother seeing this? That movie's Slender Man.
Oh!
God,
I'm with you on that.
this movie was absolutely terrible. There was nothing scary about this movie.
There's nothing scary.
I almost fell asleep watching this movie because
was
literally I was watching it at home and I almost fell asleep probably about 40 minutes in the movie. The one time it was actually trying to make me fall for a jump scare, I was actually laughing. Slender Man, it would definitely been my worst of summer list if I saw it during the summer, but still, this
There's
movie's
another movie
god
that isn't the
awful,
movie,
and
yeah,
I just don't understand why I wasted time with this. Go play the actual game. It'll actually get you more scared.
And read the creepypasta because the creepypasta
Yeah,
is
the
actually
creepypasta.
really, it's actually really creepy.
It is really creepy.
Creepypasta, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Play the games. You'll actually get more out of the games than you will of this movie. That's why it's my number 9.
A free PC game is scarier than this movie.
Why is pasta creepy?
So you'll probably hate me for this. You especially, Austin.
You son of a bitch. What is it?
Yeah, it's First Man.
You know,
I don't think
You know
it's-
what?
I never saw it.
Joe,
I
can't disagree with them because I do find it overrated. I can't disagree.
Oh,
I
I thought I thought you'd
I
be
didn't think it
shocked.
was
No,
overrated
no,
enough to
one
like
person
disappoint us.
we know will be like, as he says, massaging your prostate.
The thing was, and it's, I mean, this movie was doomed to fail before it came out.
Ryan Gosling was so he was
One-dimensional.
So, yeah, Claire Foy was the best part of the entire film.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I know Neil Armstrong was like that. I mean, he was a very quiet guy, but he wasn't a robot. I think he forgot he wasn't doing Blade Runner. This just felt awkward. I mean, granted, we all orgasmed with all the sounds and stuff. I mean, we got that.
The opening scene was well done.
I mean, the technicalities of it was fine. That's something that to be like, oh yeah, I saw it, but I won't see it again. I think going the artistic route of focusing too much on Neil and not so much the moon landing itself, which yes, the moon landing was a historic American moment, but they wanted to tell a Neil Armstrong biopic, which right then and there, that's like saying like, okay, we're just gonna do a Queen movie, but we're only gonna focus on John Deacon instead of Freddie Mercury. In IMAX, it was great, but that's the IMAX experience. If you were to take a look at this now, you'd be like, okay, when's dinner ready?
Pretty much.
So, First Man, sorry.
Number 8.
That's easier. Ow, fuck, that hurt.
Come on.
Ow!
Austin,
I need
you're
my-
trying too hard for yourself.
I need my film slate. I need that film slate. Okay, anyways.
I seriously don't understand the hype with this motherfucker. Yet he's in every single movie this year, pretty much.
What's that?
My number 8 is Night School. Kevin.
I can agree with you on that.
He's in all these comedy movies, and everyone's supposed to laugh.
I-
Let's laugh at the short guy. Tiffany Haddish in this movie, I really didn't like her that much.
Same. I thought she was annoying, to be
She
honest
was
with
annoying, and she was annoying in Uncle Drew, but that was I like.
Don't
The
you dare
characters in
football.
this aren't likable. I think I only chuckled like 3 times
you. Yeah.
in this, but yeah, it just wasn't a good comedy. And I don't understand the hype with Kevin Hart. Never have, never will. Simply put, that's my number 8.
All right, so my number 8 was a film that I saw, didn't review it because I didn't have the motivation to do it, but I'll do it here. My number 8, The House That Jack Built. People kept talking about it. I was like, okay, you know what? The curiosity, but curiosity killed the cat on this one. This was a movie that, Lars von Trier, he's a filmmaker that in this day and age, he's all about getting reactions, it seems, and holy shit, what a reaction he got out of me. This movie left me so depressed in the end. It's either Matt or it's Jack Dylan that stars as Jack. He's a serial killer and basically goes over the course, I believe, of 20 years of him killing 5 specific people. And what he does in this movie, and I get it, the whole thing is that it's supposed to be a more realistic thing, and the whole movie is about the whole celebration of that life is soulless and evil. Come on, Lars
Give me a
von
break.
Trier. Kind of a nice little comparison between Darren Aronofsky's Mother, which I know you despise, and along with Joe as well. At least with Mother, I can watch that film because at least that film doesn't have the despicable things that this movie has. Because,
Really?
oh god, this movie is 10 times, no, a billion times worse than Mother. I'm not even
Really?
joking. No, this movie is bad, man. And this movie is 2.5 hours long. Jack Dylan himself, everyone's been praising him. I don't get the praise. There's only one scene. He said this one line. He goes like, oh, you call that screaming? Because he was threatening to kill this one girl. I was never going to see this, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. And I regret watching it. I really do. I don't get how you can make films like this. I really don't. I prefer to watch Nymphomaniac or even Antichrist. And that one's a hard one to get through. But man, I don't get how you can make a film like this. I really don't. Number 8. Thank you for making me depressed, Lars von Trier. Fuck you.
Actually, your number 9 is actually my number 8. The worst animated film of 2018
Oh, wow.
is Sherlock Gnomes. I was gonna mention it, but I was like, I'm gonna save it. And yeah, this is time to mention it because 2018 really wasn't a terrible year for animation. It actually was a pretty good year for animation. It was, and you only had 2 bad films, like Teen Titans Go being a really bad film, but it had some qualities. This has no qualities whatsoever. When you have gnomes twerking in this movie,
Oh, Jesus. I forgot about that.
Did you see
yeah, gnomes twerk in this movie. I don't understand how this movie got made. I get it. You had Romeo and Juliet the first one. Now this is a sequel, and
Should have been a Netflix.
the voice acting was terrible. Why was this in theaters? It shouldn't have been. It was all to get kids, the families, to get the kids moving to the theater, to get them to shut up for like an hour and a half. Nothing in this movie makes any sense. None of the characters are likable. None of the jokes hit at all. And yeah, this was just the absolute cream of the crop of shit. for animated films this year.
Lucas, you got a couple of wrinkles on your shirt.
Really?
I got it.
You know,
It's number 8's Wrinkle in Time. That's what time it is.
I can't disagree with you on that. Oprah.
Well, my problem wasn't with Oprah. My problem was with
It was everyone else besides Chris Pine.
well, even then I found him annoying. No, well, the kid was annoying.
Charles Wallace.
Yeah,
Oh
Charles
my
Wallace.
God.
Charles Wallace.
Talk about
Charles
annoying
Wallace. This is Ava DuVernay's like 3rd film she's ever done, and I know she's on like the Damien Chazelle route where this is her 3rd movie, and it ends up being on a bad list. This got jacked for several reasons. A, it wasn't true to the source material. We can't say anything technical wise of it being shitty, because then Disney would be like,
Even the visual effects weren't that great in this movie.
really? I mean, I thought they were. I thought they were decent. I mean, it's not like The Room bad.
I'll give you
It's not that bad. But it's not The Room bad. For me, it was just like characters were just crap. Charles Wallace though was probably the most annoying thing. I just didn't take him seriously. He's like, I'm an evil kid. I didn't believe that. It just doesn't come off as like being. It's just like an obnoxious thing. Even like the little crush thing going on between the main character. That was awkward. And I thought the Bumblebee one was a little bit awkward, but this one was even more awkward. But Wrinkle in Time, sorry.
Number 7.
All right, so my number 7. Do you guys remember Hot Pursuit a few years ago?
Yes.
This is this year's equivalent to that, and that is The Spy Who Dumped Me.
Oh yeah, I forgot they even came out
This
this
is
year.
with Kate McKinnon and my girl, Mila Kunis.
I love Kate McKinnon.
I know I don't have a chance. She's got a
No
baby with-
chance.
Yeah, this is basically the same thing that happened with Hot Pursuit, except this time they're spies.
Oh.
So it's basically the same storyline, same unlikable jokes, same horrible acting, basically the same thing, except different actors. Nothing really too much to say about it. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it already, why would I? The jokes were bland. The characters were unlikable. The plot was basically non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a bad movie altogether.
Probably so.
Yeah, that's my number 7.
All right, so my number 7, I wanted to love this movie. I really did. I love this filmmaker. This was in my top, I think like my top 20 most anticipated films of the year. My number 7, Shane Black, You Broke My Heart. Mine's The Predator. I wanted to love this movie. I really did. I love the original Predator. It's one of my favorite action films of all time. I didn't mind Predators, the one that was produced by Robert Rodriguez. Knowing that he was directing this film gave me so much hope. But within the first, I like the opening scene. It was a nice little set, but right afterwards, it just. What happened with this movie, really? I like the camaraderie between the cast, but unlike in the original film, I don't remember a single person's name. I remember the actors' names. Like, I remember Trevante Rhodes. I remember Boyd Holbrook. I remember Keegan-Michael Key was in this movie. I remember Thomas Jane was in this movie. There was Olivia Munn, who was horribly miscast in this movie, by the way. Horribly miscast. And the actual Predator himself gets killed off in this movie for a bigger. Yeah, the actual Predator gets killed off. Yeah, it looked so bad, and plus the Predator dogs in this movie. Those look. Yeah, there's Predator dogs in this movie. I'm not even kidding. Oh yeah, Jacob Tremblay's in this movie, who really. If he was cut out, I wouldn't have noticed a single thing. I really wouldn't have noticed a single thing. I want to be one of the people that said, guys, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good, but no. Most disappointing film of the year, Shane Black. You're tearing me apart, Shane Black. My number 7.
Austin, I hope we can still be friends after this, because my number 7 is an absolute train wreck of a film, and I did a review of it on my channel, and it's a film I think you guys all should know, and yes, it's Hereditary. My one friend summarized it
Comes
best.
to debate.
How the hell did this movie get a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes? And I agree wholeheartedly. It does have some creepy injury here and there, but otherwise, the acting in this movie is terrible. When the whole entire theater I went to is laughing during the final end of how contorted this movie gets, yeah, it's a sign of a bad horror movie, because you should not be laughing at a horror movie. You should be scared shitless. That's all I gotta say.
This is my favorite horror film of the decade.
It literally has no redeeming values, unfortunately, other than some creepy imagery. If you want to check out my full review, check out my channel. It has a full review with the good buddies, Tubby. But yeah, otherwise, that's why it's my number 7.
I'm gonna go raid the kitchen. You guys want anything?
Oh, God. I think I know what it is.
Come on, seriously, you don't want me to go raid the kitchen and go get something?
I don't know where
There's a lot of treasures in there. Tomb Raider.
Oh, okay.
God damn it.
Yeah.
And you play the fucking game. I mean, obviously, this is a reboot of the Angelina Jolie version. She said, like, Alicia Vikander is, like, too boring as an actress. And I tend to agree with her here. Like, Lara Croft just, the way she portrayed Lara Croft, I thought it was just, it was too boring. This Tomb Raider thing was just, I mean, it was just boring. I mean, even the action was just... I mean, it's just technically there. I mean, yes, it does the job, but there's no emotion behind it.
And Walton Goggins was a really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about anybody else in the movie. It's like, it's yes, good having the cheese on the pizza, but I wanted a little bit extra. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, Tomb Raider, sorry.
Number 6.
All right, number 6 for me. Well, it wouldn't be a top 10 worst films of the year list without mentioning this particular actress.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Alex?
is it who I think it is?
Alex, I think I know who it is.
Life at a Party.
Yes, it's my number 6 as well.
Oh, boom!
Yeah, I'm a boom! Alright, so Life of the Party, this movie just feels like one movie that makes you do not want to go back to college. Because sometimes, you know,
Dude,
the
I don't
college parties are frat. Sometimes the frat parties can be fun.
That
but
and the plot of this movie.
the plot is so
a
bad.
mother going back to college.
Exactly.
For what?
To get some kind of degree.
Oh, it's like the extremely goofy movie then.
Oh, dear God. Literally,
What is
where Melissa
for?
McCarthy starts dating a younger guy and they just like...
And then the daughter likes the said guy.
I'm like, oh my God, this movie is such a mess. And Melissa McCarthy, you could do better than this. Honestly, you really can, because some of these jokes in these movies do not hit absolutely whatsoever. They do not hit. They just hit, and then it's just like awkward silence, and then it goes to the next thing. I'm like, go ahead. You know you just hit the joke, so go ahead and say the next thing. Oh, you're just gonna stay there for a few seconds and go on? Okay.
Well, she didn't do better with the Happy Time Murders.
Oh.
So.
I actually like Happy Time
I
Murders.
actually liked it too. You know what? I actually like that movie. It's a guilty pleasure.
I haven't seen it. So.
But
I
yeah,
haven't seen it.
Alex, go ahead and finish up though.
It just wasn't a funny movie. I mean, she really needs to get her
shit together.
I mean,
Well-
she can do good movies. We saw Spy.
Well, apparently she
Or
did do a film this year also
Heat.
called Can You Ever Forgive Me, which I've been hearing is great.
I heard Oscars.
What was it called?
Can You Ever Forgive Me?
I actually saw the trailer to that.
It looked pretty good.
Yeah, it looked all right.
Yeah, her husband can't direct her in movies anymore.
No, her husband
Was this
cannot
directed
direct.
by him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go
How
figure.
How am I not surprised?
Yeah, her.
That's my number.
That's both our number
Both
sixes.
of our number 6s.
All right, so my number 6, another horror film on this list. This has been a good year for horror, I feel like, but it's always been it's been half and half. But my number 6 goes to a franchise I was never a big fan to begin with. But my number 6, The First Purge, is my number 6.
Oh!
Or The First Purge, it's not quite as bad as Election Year, because Election Year, I just find it unwatchable, but otherwise, holy shit. It's the same shit, it really is. It goes over the exact same story beats as the original Purge films. The people go over why they need the Purge, they go over the setup, they go over the preparation, then all the shit goes down, and there's the final showdown. But like Lucas said, the reason why it goes over because there wasn't enough action happening, which... Fucking really? The character named Skeletor, oh my
They should
god.
sue.
Number 6 is The First Purge, number 6.
What's one of the three main colors?
Red, blue,
Red, yellow.
Okay. One of those colors, is a part of the title of this movie. And
Red Dawn?
close.
with it.
It was no. Red. Yes.
Red Sparrow.
Red Sparrow. Well, no, Jennifer Lawrence. I used to. No. Well, no, I didn't think she was good in it.
Really? Wow.
Well, no, she's become an android, and I know she's playing a spy, but
Yeah.
But I mean, what was it? Atomic Blonde. Charlize Theron had more emotion as a spy in that than. But I mean, I never thought a Jennifer Lawrence like sex part would be so boring to watch, because I love Jennifer Lawrence. It's a dramatic spy movie. It's not an action-packed spy movie. Which, look, we've seen spy movies before. What's the one thing they all are good at? Action genre. When it comes to drama, it doesn't do so well. It doesn't work in that genre, and I don't. It was predictable. That was the one thing.
It was just boring.
Yeah, it was boring, predictable, It didn't look good on the big screen. People were so bored with it, the box office didn't do so well for it. No, it did shit because it's like, no, I don't think so. I saw Mother, no. So.
I go from Mother over this.
Yeah, I'm fine. So, Red Sparrow, sorry.
Number 5.
All right, guys, our number 5s. Yeah, we're getting into it. These are the ones that really did infuriate us. So, Alex?
Well, this one really didn't infuriate me as much as it like questioned a lot of things. My number 5 is Book Club.
That's my number 5 as well.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry, that's great though.
I think they said a Putnam Crew record.
That's a record.
Okay, here's the thing. I was going to watch it. I was at the screen, but they didn't start the film. So I take that as a sign from God that said, get away from here right now, please.
Thank you,
There's
Lucky
enough
Stars.
people
The
Blame.
fact that they read 50 Shades of Grey
Exactly.
and they make a sex pact between all these women to get laid in the weirdest
That's what it's about,
ways
the sex
possible.
pact?
Yes.
It's so
It's a sex pact.
I
Diane
like it.
Keaton's in this. So is the girl from, or that woman from Back to the Future 3.
Oh,
also in Step
yeah,
Brothers.
I know you're talking about.
And then 2 other
Shit.
people who
I know who you're
don't
thinking
really
of, but I
get.
just can't bring up her name.
How they try to fall for their husbands. It's like, get back in love with me. And it's like, come on. Lucas, what do you got to say about
It's
this?
pretty dreadful to watch this movie. This movie literally feels like white noise most of the time. It
like
literally
white
does
noise.
because literally most of this movie is just boring as shit. I literally with this movie I just try and follow what's going on, but most of the time I'm just thinking like, you know, I should be doing something else right now. I don't understand why people thought they actually did a list where this is one of the top date movies of the year. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. They're starting to read 50 Shades of Grey, and it's just like, it gets worse and worse and worse. All the characters are annoying ass and they
Oh!
I'm serious, they are.
Hey.
Sorry, but these people are. They're literally these stuck-up people that literally act like they're better than everyone else. Book Club is an absolute disaster movie. Do not watch it.
It's boring.
Yeah, that's why it's our number 5.
Number 5.
Okay, so my number 5 is a movie I guarantee none of you have saw. I'm probably the only one that saw this. But my number 5 goes to The Possession of Hannah Grace.
I did not even hear about
Probably not if you've heard about this movie.
I actually have.
For a movie that's called The Exorcism, or The Possession of Hannah Grace, there's no possession. There's really no exorcism. That's in the first 5 minutes. So what we get here, as a result, is a girl walking down hallways, flashing lights that go on and off, noises, jump scares, a person that's crawling around the entire time, and character arcs that make that go nowhere. There's predictable, literally every single scare in the book is there. I have AMC A-List, which has been incredible, and I was like, you know what? I got
This
nothing.
one of the ones you saw for free?
Yeah. From a movie that takes place in a morgue, there's a lot of possibilities of this, but really they don't really take what could be a good horror film, but they make it as generic as possible. So yeah, Possession of Hannah Grace, number 5.
For my top 5, I'm gonna do them in the style of Jim Sterling. So, don't worry. This will be pretty short. So, yeah. No, that's not Jim. That's not Jim fucking Sterling, son. Here we go. Skyscraper.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like
I
it.
didn't even bother to see this movie.
Barely anybody saw this with the budget it had. I'm like amazed that there's not that many people that thought it was not gonna do well. I think people were comparing it to Die Hard.
That entire Inferno, which I actually have.
Yeah, it's hard when you have to tell people that this is a new action movie when you all know bullshit. You're just taking 2 movies and putting them into one. It's so fucking blatantly obvious. This was not a good year for The Rock, unfortunately. He didn't have a good year. But, you know, that happens when you're an actor. You have good years and bad years. This was just not good. It was just blatantly boring. It was blatantly... like I said, characters and story just wasn't fleshed enough. So, Skyscraper, sorry.
Number 4.
Okay, Alex, number 4.
Let's see if we can go 3 for 3, Lucas.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm taking an homage from my list from last year for 5 simple words. Sex, sex, and more sex.
Wow, yep, okay. Yep, 50 Shades Freed, right?
50 Shades Freed.
Nope, we're not gonna go 3 for 3.
Damn it, no turkey. This is basically the same thing as all the other ones, except they have this stupid thing with the with the sister-in-law or something.
Yeah,
where he
and
gets held hostage or something.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just
if you want to see her alive,
that villain.
$5 million.
That villain was so bad.
Yeah, I talked about that.
$5 million, or she will get slaughtered. Thank God that this is the last one.
No, seriously, I thank God. I don't know how much more it could
There's
last.
the Christian Grey version now.
Oh, fuck!
Come on.
Yeah, they're doing it from Christian Grey's point of view now.
Twilight fan fiction.
Yeah,
that
it
we
is.
Didn't need.
That's all it is. It's Twilight fan
That
fiction.
we didn't need. That's my number 4.
Austin?
50 Shades Freed.
Shittiest, as I call it. Okay.
Endgame.
Number 4 for me. Oh my fuck.
That's not till next year.
Oh, God.
That's till next year.
Shades Endgame.
Oh, good lord.
You should have gone for the vagina.
Okay.
That stone and shove it up your ass.
My number 4 is yet another horror film.
Whoa.
Right? Okay.
Austin.
Okay, my number 4 for me is Strangers Pray at Night. This is a sequel to a film that came out last decade. I finally watched a couple of months or a couple weeks after I saw Pray at Night. And the original film, it's not bad. It's full of tension. The ability to see the strangers were this one. Oh my god. I have not seen characters this fucking stupid in a horror film. Oh my god, in years. Every single decision that these characters make really only feel like that. It feels like they're only saying the wrong time. Oh, we got a gun? Nope, just put it right there. Just so straight, you're gonna go across it. It's like, oh, there's a car right there that we can get out of here. What do you don't want a movie? Let's keep the car here. Let's actually stay here and get killed. This would be my number 1 worst horror film of the year, but there's another one that's even worse than this one.
Another horror film?
Yeah. Yeah, I fucking love Hereditary. Are you kidding me? It has an ending that's made me go like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? It's my number 4 for a reason, but yeah. Well done, strangers. Well done.
Oh, number 4. Johnny Knoxville. What the hell happened to you? Action Point.
He got old.
I already had the poor distinction of watching Book Club, then Action Point right after.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. I was bored one night. But yeah, this movie, I swear to God, is just painfully unfunny. It literally doesn't even give an attempt to try and be funny. It tries to do something, but it's nothing. It's like jingling keys in front of a baby. It's going to do something, but they're not going to eventually get the reaction.
What kind of comparison?
Just stop. This movie was just painfully terrible. It was a terrible comedy, and I don't understand why anyone should see it. That's why it's my number 4.
Pacific Rim Uprising. It doesn't have that Del Toro feel to it. I mean, John Boyega being the replacement for almost all the other characters from the main movie. You know what was funny? I was watching the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version of Atlantic Rim. That one was more entertaining than Pacific Rim Uprising. I have a friend that actually said that he enjoyed this, and I was like, well, that's because I'm a very simple person and I don't take things as seriously as you do. I went in there not taking it seriously, but I didn't have fun with it. Cheesy and bad. That's what this was. So, Pacific Rim Uprising. Sorry.
All right, guys, number 3s. Now we're really getting into the shittiest ones. Alex?
Now, it's Action Point.
Oh.
I'll just say it as Action Point. Yeah, they had the perfect source material. They had an actual park.
They
an
had
action park.
They had everything worked out for them.
Everything
they really did.
was perfect.
Yeah.
And then the premise was just... the fuck? Johnny Knoxville, I understand. He's still the jackass king.
Yeah.
Always has been, always will be the Godfather. I will say one scene that really, really pissed me off.
Which one was it?
It's the scene where they're in the newsroom.
Yeah.
Lucas, or Joe, have you seen Action Point yet?
No.
You don't need to.
Come on. And then the stupid subplot with the
Oh
daughter.
yeah,
and
the
clash.
Where was
like,
that going?
Absolutely nowhere.
Right when they bring it up, you're just like, oh yeah, what's going on with this
And
again?
then she goes out with the other kids, and then it's like the cops get called. Like,
That was so stupid.
what
Oh
the
my
hell
god.
is the point?
Yeah, it just.
It just fell flat on his face. It was
Yeah, it really
boring,
did, yeah.
It was bland. It was just awful. On that note, that's my number 3.
All right, so my number 3, you guys will be very surprised. This was my number 1 for a long time, but then I saw 2 other movies, and I really want to think, you know what? It's too easy to put this as my number 1. I want my number 1 to really earn it. So my number 3, 50 Shades Freed is my number 3. Thank God this is over. Seriously. Thank God it's over. Thank God these Twilight fan fiction things are over with. Seriously, Christian Grey and Anna Steele, they have, by none, the worst screen chemistry I've ever seen in a movie. Literally, all they do in 50 Shades Freed is that they date, they fuck, they date, they fuck, they date, they fuck. And then there's something else with the villain, which involves him threatening the sister-in-law, which Alex mentioned. I want $5 million, also going to cut your sister into pieces, which I didn't give a shit about. At that point, I was like, yeah, go ahead and do something, because I'm bored shitless right now. My buddy Christian Rob described it as, it's essentially The Room meets 50 Shades.
Oh my God.
Because there's subplots in this movie that are introduced, but they go nowhere. They use ice cream in a sex scene in which I was just like, what a waste of good ice cream.
Exactly.
And I'm not even joking with you guys. After the movie ended, I literally shouted in the theater. I actually shouted, "It's over!" This is the final 50 Shades movie. Please, dear God, let this be the final one. 50 Shades Freed. You're number 3.
My number 3 is another video that I did a review on my channel, and this is probably the worst comedy of the year by far, and that is The Spy Who Dumped Me.
There we go.
I knew this was coming up on my list, and yes, this movie has zero action, zero funny jokes, and some of the worst acting I've ever seen. Kate McKinnon, please stop acting. You're not at all a good actor. Exactly. Spy Who Dumped Me. If you want to see more review, I'm gonna have it's in my description or my channel. Check it out. But yeah, The Spy Who Dumped Me. Yeah, this is not good of a movie at all. That's why it's my number 3.
The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. And Keira Knightley, I mean, not the best role she's done in her career. The only reason I went to see this is because it was recommended to me by somebody who's a huge Nutcracker fan. She's really into like Nutcrackers and like all like the whole movies from like back in the day and like finding the artifacts. Yeah. Well, no, that's where their marriage just didn't come off as something that was exciting. The trailer just made it look like it was this huge epic thing, and then it just turned into like a simple story that's not meant for a male of my age. I'm sorry.
Number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. Will Ferrell is not funny anymore.
Oh, I know what he's talking about.
I saw this earlier today. Holmes and Watson.
So,
It's supposed to go to Netflix, right?
It should have.
They're like, no thanks.
even Netflix is like, we're too good for this shit right here.
It starts out with a quote from somewhere, and they cite it as a Hannah Montana episode. I knew right from the beginning.
Oh dear God.
That it's like, okay, this is what it's gonna be. And Lucas, Braun Strowman is in this movie.
What?
Really?
No!
Yeah, this movie was just painful. Painful. Right now, I believe it's at a 7% on Rotten
I
Tomatoes.
can't believe it's that high already.
But
then again, I haven't seen it.
Critical. But Will Ferrell's
It was
just not
painful
funny.
to watch,
It just
I imagine.
Wasn't funny.
Oh,
he's
God.
He's just not funny anymore. It was bad.
It
It was bad.
was
That's all I
bad.
gotta say.
Here's the thing. I had sworn to never watch a movie from this director. I had sworn. But then the fade said something else in plan for me. And my God, Tyler Perry.
I know it.
Acrimony?
Nobody's Fool is my number 2. God damn, this was a torturous movie to watch. It was my first Tyler Perry movie I ever watched. This was the worst first impression you could possibly have. Like, if I were to go to a movie, I don't know. I didn't want to start with that. I didn't want to start with any of them. Tyler Perry cannot write nor can he direct for shit
act.
whatsoever.
Here's my question to you, Austin.
Give me a break.
Austin, did he go herdy her?
No.
Anytime this movie?
No,
dude.
because the whole thing is that since that Tiffany Haddish is in this movie, who, oh my, if you thought she was bad in Night School,
Oh,
she
boy.
is 10 times as annoying in this movie. Like, she does sex joke after sex joke after sex joke. And when you think the film is done, another plot line starts, and you're just thinking, oh, fuck, so this is where it's going? And it keeps going and going and going until it finally ends.
Energize the body.
Yeah, I wanted this bunny to stop. Nobody's Fool. I was a fool for watching this movie. My number 2.
Oh boy. You guys already mentioned my number 2 many times, so I'm just gonna flat say it. 50 Shades Freed.
50 Shades shittiest.
Pretty much.
Enough said.
Yeah, there really doesn't mean much to be said because you guys already said what I really wanted to say about this movie. So yeah, moving on. That's why it's number 2.
The Predator.
Oh, yes!
Yeah. Oh yeah. In the movie, the Predator goes after Jacob Tremblay because he's autistic.
Yeah.
And because the Predator's like, people that have autism no, he's saying that autistics are like the next evolutionary step in human beings. So that's why the Predator went after the kid. He's like, he's autistic. I'm gonna keep him as my trophy. I mean, first of all, that's not scientifically proven. I mean, I know it's a sci-fi movie, and I know they're just trying to do like something sci-fi stuff.
What do you
but
call a leap of faith?
yeah, they reused a lot of lines from the original.
And they reused the same music from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
They used the same
So, I mean, it was like, okay, we're just going to do the 87 version. We're just going to do an updated version of it. The Predator losing to a Super Predator didn't help.
Oh my god. That pissed me off.
So, the Predator, sorry.
It's number 1.
Alright, guys, we've come down to it. It is time for our number 1 shit stains of 2018. Alex, you ready to do this?
Yes. I'm not a huge fan of this genre. It's a horror film.
Oh.
And I
wonder what it is.
thought Holmes and Watson was bad. That was until I saw A Quiet Place.
Woo!
Oh my goodness.
Just kidding.
Oh my god.
Wow.
You asshole.
Just kidding. It's Truth or Dare.
Oh, okay.
Remember last year when I said the Emoji Movie was scraping the bottom of the barrel?
Does this script the bottom of the barrel? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
When the Emoji Movie was scraping the bottom of the barrel of like logical things to do in a movie. Let's do a popular game that people do at slumber parties.
And combine that with the Joker smile if you do it wrong.
Oh, exactly.
I wanted to like this movie. I really did.
Is it truth or is it dare? Make up your mind. None of these characters are likable.
Yeah, they're all assholes.
All of them are assholes.
Yeah.
The deaths in this movie are actually kind of
they're so funny. They're
and
hysterical.
just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie, all as a whole, is just so dumb. The camera work is bad.
Oh yeah, the jump scares
the lighting
too.
Is bad. The jump scares. I fucking hate jump scares. Pretty much every 5 minutes, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare,
Oh.
jump scare galore. And yeah, it was just bad. Everything about this was just bad. Number 1 for me, Truth or Dare.
Like Alex's, my number 1 worst film of the year is also a horror film. My god, you guys know how much I love a good ghost story.
I know.
But this, my god, my number 1 worst film of the year is Winchester.
Yep.
This was a movie, you know what, okay. You know me, guys, I'm a paranormal nutcase. I love the paranormal, I really do. This is based on the Winchester Mystery House, which is one of the most notorious haunted houses in America. And what they do with this movie is that they treat the Winchester Mystery House like a generic jump scare fest. And like, here's the thing, generic, okay. You know what, we all get generic horror movies all the time, but this is so generic that it's insulting how generic it is. Every jump scare in this movie, it's like they don't even fucking try to scare you. Like, literally, every jump scare, you see where all of them are coming. They peek through a hole, bam, a jump scare happens right there. The camera dolly's back. Oh, yeah, exactly. The camera dolly's back, a jump scare happens there. There's a wide shot of a dark room. Boom, a shot of a ghost goes right there. And it was so pathetic, I started laughing. And I took my buddy Sarah to see this with me. She fell asleep during this movie. She fell asleep. She wakes up and she says, "I'm so sorry." I was like, "Sarah,
I don't blame you.
I literally said to her, "Sarah, I'm envious that you slept." Jason Clarke, Helen Mirren, they must have been blackmailed to do this movie because they were horrible in this. The production design, I guess that's the only good thing I could say about this, but the production design, you can make a shit look good, but it's still shit. Could you not be any lazier? Could you not be just... This was like a slap in the face to not just horror, but the Winchester Mystery House itself. I guarantee the ghosts of the Winchester House are laughing their asses off for how bad this movie is. But yeah, Winchester, uno. Okay, Lucas, what's number 1, buddy?
I think everyone knows what my number 1 worst is.
Oh yeah, because you wouldn't stop talking about it. When it came
Yeah,
out.
this movie.
I don't know.
I don't understand why they continue to make these films. Please let it be the last one because your TV series and your streaming movie.
Yeah.
That's the first Purge.
Wow.
Yeah, he wouldn't shut up about it.
The first Purge Holy God, this movie is garbage. Everything in this movie is garbage. Skeletor is garbage. All the characters are garbage.
Skeletor.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy is a Skeletor. He goes like this.
Home for my sins.
I got my candy bar.
This movie was entirely terrible. I don't understand the logistics of this movie, how this movie even exists. It makes no sense. And giving people $5,000 to stay on an island during the
Oh my
park.
God, that was so
How does that
dumb.
make any financially sense? This movie just has no logic built into it. All the characters are dumb as shit. This movie should be sued by copyright infringement for many times. The First Purge is one of those movies that literally, I don't understand how anyone could like this movie. There's no logic built into it. The main reason why they want to actually create more action is complete and utter bullshit.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh.
And just how every character is executed, like with their lines, everything, it's just so generic. The post-credit scenes, I already said enough of them. But yeah, First Purge, yeah, please do not make any more of these. So that's why it's my number one.
Wait, no, you gotta stop it there. What movie? This movie sucks. What?
This movie sucks the devil's dick.
There we go. I was waiting for you to say that. So far, your was a horror film. Mine was a horror film. Yours was a horror. Joe, are you gonna continue the streak?
Nope.
No.
Damn it!
What's your number one worse then?
Sherlock Gnomes.
Really?
Wow.
Now, the only reason I saw this is because my niece and nephew wanted to go see it. Romeo and Juliet was okay. I mean, it's a Shakespeare animated movie with gnomes. Okay,
Right.
I can get by with that. Sherlock, though, once you get to Sherlock, then yeah. With this, it was just, I mean, the kids were laughing hysterically because these are jokes made for kids. This is not meant for me. This is not
anything.
But it's not meant for me. But I saw it anyway because I was just like, hey, the gnome is twerking. We've taught them not to twerk. And for good reason. This is one of those things where I will just say, you know, if you're gonna do animated movies, yes, I mean, there's a reason why we love Shrek. There's a reason why we still watch Disney. There's a still reason why we love The Iron Giant. Yeah, that too. There's a reason why people love the first Wreck-It Ralph. Sherlock Gnomes, sorry, but you fucked up.
All right, guys. Well, we have exorcised the demons away from us for our worst films. As Thanos, you can see, Thanos snapped these movies away from us, so we don't have to ever see them ever again. But guys, thank you so much for watching our top 10 worst films of the year. This was a lot of fun. But hey, we're not done quite yet, guys, because coming up next is our top 10 favorite movies of the year, the films that put us in film ecstasy while we were watching them. So yeah, that's the way I say it. So guys, thank you again so much for watching. Thank you again to Alex, Lucas, and Joe for appearing. Guys, until our top 10 favorite films of 2018, we'll see you guys next time. See you guys then.
See you later, stay awesome, and get swole. And also watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, that especially.